It's Memorial Day weekend. There's good news. If you're traveling anywhere this weekend, more good news. Gas price lowest this weekend on Memorial Day weekend it's been since 2003. Now you might say, but Glenn, it's $3 a gallon. Yes, but I remember it was less than $3 a gallon in 2003, and you'd be right. It was $1.53. However, the slight caveat on the happy part is your dollar has lost about half its value. So $1.53, what you could buy in 2003 for $1.53 now costs $3. So, but just remember, it's the lowest that it has been. So that is good news. The inflation thing might be a problem we should work on.
Really? How do you stop something like that? Is there a path to maybe try to reduce inflation over a long period of time?
You stop spending so much money, and you don't print money. Or borrow money like that. Well,
What if instead we try to get like $50 trillion in debt? Would that be another path to success?
What is your goal?
I was hoping to lower inflation. Would that work?
No, that would not work. No, I just wanted to make sure that you weren't one of the Marxist radicals that were like, I collapse the system.
Oh, okay.
Because that would work.
That would work for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would.
Good.
That would work for that. Let me give you some more good news here. Let's see. The former candidate who threatened to hire a Russian-Ukrainian hit squad to kill Anna Paulina Luna, going to jail, in prison.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us. There's some good news. Law enforcement is beginning to work. Supreme Court has sided with Trump on the firing of officials from independent federal agencies. So he can remove without cause executive officers who exercise that power on his behalf, subject to very narrow exemptions. A Trump judge has also killed Biden's requirement that employers accommodate workers' efforts to abort their own unborn children. You know what? I can't come in tomorrow early because I'm going to take the abortion pill and I might be hemorrhaging almost to death on my bathroom floor. But they assure me that it's completely safe. So, but you still have to pay me for that. No, you don't have to do that.
Glenn, not every host can work in the story of someone hemorrhaging after a failed abortion into the good news segment of the program, but you did it. That's Radio Hall of Fame right there.
I did it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for recognition on this, dude. Thank you. Finally, somebody sees the talent that I have.
And there you have it. Another example of why Glenn Beck is in the Radio Hall of Fame.
Thank you. We need to rebuild our manufacturing base. And American Giant started doing that 14 years ago. They make clothing here at home with American cotton, American hands, and American heart. It's quality you can feel. Go to American-Giant.com/Glenn. Get 20% off your first purchase. That's American-Giant.com/Glenn. Senate has now voted to overturn California's EV mandate. That is a huge defeat for climate activists, and I weep for them. While we're there with the EPA, I don't know if you saw Zeldin testifying in front of Congress, but oh my gosh, it was almost conservative porn. I like Lee Zeldin a lot, and one Senate Democrat coming after him, and Zeldin turned and said, "You know, the American taxpayers, they put President Trump in office because of people like you." Because what he was saying is we're cutting the budget of the EPA because there's waste, there's fraud, and there's corruption. And they decided they didn't like that. And so White House, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse from Rhode Island, he's looking at and he says, wait a minute, you are lying about the waste, fraud, and abuse. And he said, no, Senator, I'm not. We're just not going to waste dollars because you insist on the EPA lighting taxpayer dollars on fire. We're not going to do it. And he came back. He said, you don't even know. You have nothing. You can't even tell me any of these cuts. He's like, I I could go through all of them. I'm prepared to go through all of them. And that's when Ed Markey, another superhero from Massachusetts, he said, well, provide that list. Provide the list of waste, fraud, and abuse. And then Zeldin said, okay, well, let's start here. Provide the list. And he's like, I got it. Let me just, as soon as he starts, he interrupts him. And then he's like, Zeldin just keeps talking, and Markey says, I reclaim my time. I call my time back. It's just, they had no, and Zeldin said, you don't want me to go through the list of all the evidence of waste and abuse. You don't care about the conflicts of interest. You don't care about all of the unqualified recipients. Every time I start to give it, I'm happy to go through the list, but you declare there's no evidence, but you don't want me to even go through the list. Every time I talk, you talk over me. The Democrats are just, they are really floundering. By the way, and maybe we're going to see some more justice here. ActBlue officials, they have been asked to come to testify in front of Congress, and because Congress is doing a foreign donations probe. Now, Stu, foreign donations, that would be like if Trump was being funded by the Russians. That's a pretty big deal, right? I remember that being a really big deal.
Sure, yeah.
He's getting money from foreign governments. He's on the take from foreign governments. And then, of course, we had Biden, who was taking all kinds of cash from several foreign governments. Maybe it's only if you have one foreign government giving you money. I'm not sure. But they made a really big deal about that with Trump. Nothing about Biden. And now the ActBlue people are refusing to testify, and Congress is like, well, that's fine. We'll subpoena you. So there might be some people going to jail there. I'm telling you, handcuffs are coming. Handcuffs are coming over the next couple of months. I think we're going to see lots of handcuffs coming out. We're going to see handcuffs on the people of COVID, the COVID fraud, the cover-up. That's what's going to happen. It's the cover-up. It's not about the vaccine. It's not Fauci. It's going to be the people that knew that there were really dangerous side effects and then tried to cover that up and keep that out of the press and keep people from knowing about those side effects. And those people, you're going to see them in handcuffs, I think, very, very soon. The church, and it won't be just political people. A church and 20 people have been charged in a $60 million Medicaid scam. The AG from Arizona has accused the Happy House Behavioral Health LLC. The Happy House Behavioral Health
Sounds
LLC.
like fun.
Well, to me, the first phrase that pops into my mind is, would you like rub down at Happy House?
Oh, no.
I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. It's what comes to mind. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they took taxpayer funds for services it neither provided or only partially delivered, and then they were billing for services for clients who were deceased or in prison. So they couldn't have given them those services. I guess no rubdowns in prison.
It's always sad when you have that situation. When you lose the rubdowns in prison, it's always very, very sad.
John Deere is deciding, you know what, maybe we should be a little more American because, after all, we are John Deere. John Deere, who is, if memory serves me correctly, kind of a radical, out of step with the heartland of America kind of company. But really? They've seen the light. They've seen the light. They're going to invest $20 billion in U.S. operations over the next 10 years. So that's a couple $1 billion they're pouring into our manufacturing and job creation in our local communities. So congratulations, John Deere, for stepping to the plate. There's a federal probe now with Media Matters. That makes me sad. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Just the opposite. It makes me happy. Congress is now looking in, the feds, not just Congress, but federal regulators are now looking into Media Matters over their plot to defund Musk's X and silence dissenting voices. Now, that's something new. I've not heard of Media Matters trying to silence voices that are voices of dissent. Have you heard that, Stu, about them?
No. Gosh, I mean, they just seem like what they're doing is monitoring the media to make sure,
Oh, that's right.
The conservative media, which, as you know, controls the entire ecosphere of media. And make sure they hold them accountable, because that's what they do, Glenn. Also, they just take a bunch of money from their donors and light it on fire. That's the other thing they do.
Yeah, they do. They're just such wonderful people. The U.S. Mint now is following through on the death of the penny. The last order for pennies has just been given, and so they're stopped producing metal pennies. Now I just want to ask, are we doing cardboard penny? Why is it phrased that way? We're no longer producing metal pennies.
I think it's to allow for the fact that we will still calculate pennies in digital form going forward. So it's not like every
we're just rounding up to the nearest 5 cents, right?
Right, but not. That's in a retail transaction. That's supposedly what's going to happen when we run out of pennies. Right. So you go to 7-Eleven, you buy something, it's $2.89, you pay $2.90. So that's what's going to happen. But if I'm sending you a Venmo, I can still send you $2.89. Right, digitally.
So I can. Yeah. So my digital. Wow, wouldn't it be great if we had a central bank digital currency? It would make all these penny things so much easier. So digitally, you can use pennies, but not in actual cash transactions.
Yeah, once they run out, they're doing that thing that some companies do, where they'll just saying we're not firing everybody, we're just not replacing anyone who retires. That's kind of the concept with the penny thing. So they're just going to let them kind of run out of existence, but they'll still, obviously there's a lot of them out there, so there'll still be transactions for a long time.
So I don't know if this is waste. That Donald Trump, he's lying about waste all the time. 10 years ago, the penny production, to produce one penny, it was 1.3 cents. So it cost us a third of a penny more than the penny was worth to make the penny. But don't worry about it. Since the pandemic, it's just up now to 3.69. So 3 cents.
Wow.
How would you say that? 3.69 cents.
You're right. Yeah. It's, over 3 times, or about 3 times as much as they actually are worth it takes to produce them. By the way, also, the other part of that is it's actually cheaper to produce $1 than it is to produce a penny, which is perfectly sensible.
Isn't that amazing? Because think of the technology that goes into dollars. It's cotton. It's got stuff woven into it. It has holograms. It has watermarks. Think of that's amazing. You can produce that for less than 3 cents?
Yeah, it's like 1.4 cents or something for $1.
Wow.
It's much cheaper than producing a penny.
So Trump, the DOJ has just dismissed Biden-era lawsuits against Minneapolis, Louisville, the police department there. Trump has escalated the war against Harvard. Harvard just loves their DEI programs. Gosh darn it, we have to be anti-racist. And you know what? Maybe a little pro-Palestinians, free Palestine. So they're shutting down the visas to Harvard for any international students, which is interesting. And Harvard is like, we're going to fight this. Well, go ahead. But you're going to lose all those foreign students during the fight, unless we could find an activist judge. I wonder if we could do that.